Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Manalo. So I got a pair of electro oranges that I want to turn into shadow backboard 1.0s. More importantly, they don't come in grade school size. So I got a grade school electro orange that I'm going to be turning into the SBB 1.0s. Let's go. Hey, what's up, y'all? So I got a pair of electro orange 1's from eBay. Out of all the shoes that I bought, I haven't found a fake pair that has passed through their authentication yet. So far so good. You know, this is not an ad or anything. They didn't pay me to say this. I'm just sharing my experience. All right, so here they are, grade school size 6 of the electro orange, and they come with this nice little eBay authentication tag. It's not something you could take out easily. It's like a wire string, so you're gonna need some strong ass scissors to take that out. So to make these the Shadow Backboard 1.0s, I'm going to try to do a slight color match. It's not going to be the exact color match of the original Shadow Backboard 1.0s because the sole of both of the shoes, they're different shades of orange. So I'm going to try to go with a more vibrant orange to match the sole. I'm also going to be switching out the tongue tag. And I'm not going to go for the 1.0 look on the tongue tag. I'm going to go for the 2.0s. I didn't need to remove the tongue in order to stitch back the tongue tag. I just wanted to see what it was like to stitch the tongue back onto the toe vamp of the Jordan 1 by hand. So I'm just putting more work for myself. Alright, I'm just going to compare the color of the soles between the Electro and the Shadow Backboard 1.0s. I know the 1.0s are worn, but you could just clearly see there's a big difference in the shade of orange. So I'm just gonna go for like a more vibrant orange for this custom. So off the bat, just orange out of the bottle looks pretty good as I'm painting it on the leather. So I'm gonna try to see if I'm gonna need to adjust it later on, but so far it looks pretty good to me. So as my first step, I'm gonna tape up the heel and the toe box vamp since I'm gonna be painting both those areas with the color orange. So I'm gonna start with those two first. Alright, I know you guys are impatient because I for sure know I am. You guys want to get through this quick, and you know this time lapse isn't really helping on how long it actually took, but it took a really long time just to prep the toe box and the heel for the repaint. So just really take your time so you don't have to go back and fix your mistakes. I'm using a high grit sandpaper just to roughen up the leather so the paint will stick on the toe box a little bit better. For this step, I was using 800 grit sandpaper. Now I'm going to use cotton balls and acetone to remove the top coat of the leather so our paint will adhere better. Anytime I use old paint, I let the paint pass through the strainer just so I don't have any clumps of old paint clog my air gun. Right before I use my airbrush, I dab the leather with a little bit of tape just to remove any lint that might be stuck on the leather, just to make sure that it's a smooth surface. And so I don't see any strains of lint on the leather. For the first coat, I'm gonna go light, and on the third or fourth coat, I'm gonna go heavier on the paint. Now that we're done with our orange, we're gonna take off the tape and see how well we did. These tongue tags that I bought from Iggy's Kicks are fire. I'll put a link in the description for you guys to check out his custom tongue tags. Straight up orange is a little too much. It's too much dark and a little too vibrant, so I'm gonna dull it down with a little bit of butterscotch, white, and pale yellow just to match the tongue tag a little bit more. I still want it to look similar to the color of the rubber sole of the Electro Orange. So the orange on the left looks like more of a red orange compared to an actual orange color on the right. And you can see that the color match looks way better now. Before we start painting the quarter panel, I'm gonna start taping up the swoosh. If you're gonna use an X-Acto knife to cut the tape, make sure the blade is dull, otherwise you're gonna go straight through the leather. So don't use a fresh blade. And we're pretty much gonna rinse and repeat the steps until all of the panels are painted. For this paint match, I'm gonna go lighter on the color. I'm not gonna make it heavy on the cream like the shattered backboards. It's still gonna have that eggshell white to it though. You can notice the original white paint on the wings logo compared to the quarter panel. It's slightly more eggshell. I'm really bad at coloring in the wings logo, so I'm gonna use a brand new blade on this X-Acto knife to cut around the logo. I'm still trying to figure out how much pressure to apply just so I can peel off the tape nice and clean. So my plan is to use a detailing brush to fill in the white paint lines on the wings logo into orange. So I've heard that you could dye white rubber soles to that aged look with coffee. Since this is my first time doing it, I don't know how much coffee to put in. I don't know how long I should leave the soles in there. So I am as clueless as you guys are right now if you guys have never done this before. I felt like I should have just drained the coffee grinds so it'll just be the water when I'm dyeing the soles. Don't worry, the painted areas aren't going to be stained by the coffee water. If the shoes weren't painted, then it would for sure stain the leather because there's no clear coat on the leather yet. Yo, this sucks. I don't know where I put the other tongue tag, so I'm just going to make my own by cutting a piece of leather and just painting the whole thing orange and have white lettering like the SBB 2.0s. I'm gonna make myself a pattern by measuring the original tongue tag size and using that as a template for the leather tongue tag. I'm gonna copy the colorway of the tongue tag on the 2.0s just because I like how much the orange pops. And I'm gonna paint the edges with a Q-tip and the original orange paint that I have. I'm gonna start filling in the white lines with my orange paint. I don't know if you can see it, but I did nick the leather on the top and the bottom, unfortunately, so I just have to be more careful next time. But I will try to hide it by using leather filler and gluing it shut.
So right now I'm cutting up a Nike Air stencil to place on the tongue tag. After I've weeded out the excess vinyl, I'm going to use transfer paper to place on top of the new tag. Now that I got my leather tongue tags, I'm going to stitch them back on the tongue. I'm really having trouble with the Wings logo, so I'm gonna save that step for last. So I'm gonna work on the collar now, and I'm going to just paint it by using flat black paint. I've spent countless days trying to Photoshop the right Wings logo by adjusting the sizing, and after about 3 to 4 days of just messing with Photoshop and making countless failed attempts of, a stencil on the Wings logo, I finally found the one that I'm able to work with. It's not going to be the exact size as original on the grade school, since the details are just way too small for me to weed out, and I'm going to make it slightly bigger for the printer to cut out a little bit more easier. I can finally cut my own Wings logo stencil, so now I'm just going to weed out any excess vinyl and then apply it onto the ankle portion. It came out pretty well. I just forgot to use heat to really seal in the vinyl so then there won't be any gaps. I did have a little bit of overspray in between the details, so after touching it up, I'm gonna apply clear coat all over the shoe to make it look all flat and matte. After applying a matte finish, this is what they look like. Now the last step is to stitch back the tongue onto the toe box vamp, so I'm just going to use glue to seal it shut, because I've tried using double-sided tape and it wouldn't stick that well. So for this step, I'm using a sewing awl and I'm using a needle from my sewing machine to stitch back the tongue. The thread is going to be white just because I don't have any orange thread, so I'm just going to paint over the white thread with my orange paint. And damn, that's it for this video, guys. This was a pretty hard custom for me to do. It was just a lot of changing, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe for more content like this and like the video, guys. Alright guys, I appreciate you guys. Thank you and God bless.